Hi everyone. Welcome back to PARQUET episode 4, where we are starting to enter some of the more interesting parts of the story. So this girl Tsubasa saved our main character Kanato from being tricked and robbed. So Kanato doesn't have that much common sense. So while he was talking with a girl on the street who was presenting to him a memory cube, he accidentally showed a water cache to her, and this girl's like, hey, be careful, you know what's gonna happen next. And it did happen. So there were two people on the street. They dragged Kanato to an alleyway, and for the whole time Kanato had no idea what was going on. Well, that is until the girl alerted Tsubasa about what's happening. So Tsubasa calls her Nika-kun or Nika-san. So anyways, Tsubasa wants to hear about Kanato's situation. So she is quite puzzled about, wait, so you are homeless and you have no place to go? So the question is, why are you in the city? So Kanato did try to explain to the other girl, Nika-san, about what's going on, because she found him all dazed out in the middle of the street. So first, let's hear Tsubasa say,
そもそもどうして君はこの町に?
Well, so this is actually the first time I've ever had black tea. Wait, he's changing the topic.
それは何かの比喩ではなく?
Well, I'm ignorant about many things, so yeah, I suppose that may be metaphorical. So I want to know much, much more about the world, and that's why I came to the city. Okay, so he answers the question.
けど、それも一歩目からつまずいていたわけか.
But you hit a big roadblock.
伊吹くんにも今まで暮らしてきた場所があるんだろ?
So you must have come from somewhere, right? Well, I suppose.
あるけど戻れない.
And you can't go back.
愚問だった。だから困ってるんだよね.
Well, of course, I could go back if I wanted to. So the Ibuki headquarters or the Ibuki corporate office. But I don't want to do that when I've only just begun my journey. So that's like going back. So I want to move forward.
ちなみに、このまま僕と別れたらどうするつもり?
So what's next? Look for a hotel, I suppose? Well, I'm sure even though he has a lot of money, he'll run out very quickly if he keeps staying at motels or hotels. And we know that the capsule hotel was too uncomfortable for Kanato. Well, if I can't find one, maybe I'll camp outside. Well, actually, wait. So just like Akito from A Sky Full of Stars. So camping in the outskirts of the city might be interesting. But then again, it's not healthy and you get cold.
言っておくけど、野宿なんてしたら警察に保護されても仕方ないからね.
Oh, but then the homeless encampment problem. So if you do that, you might be taken away by the police for blight. Well, I wouldn't want a run-in with them. So they will check Kanato's ID, and if they think or see that he's illegal or can't prove his residency or citizenship, then, well, who knows? They might just send him back to Ibiki, where he technically belongs. And having them dig into my personal history would not be good. There you go. And that they would come up, which would only raise suspicions. That's true. I was able to stay at a capsule hotel yesterday, but the walls were so thin I could not sleep well.
カプセルホテルで無理なら野宿なんてもっと無理じゃないかな。冬だよ。
Oh, so it's winter, and if you camp outside, you'll be really cold. So it's worse than a capsule hotel. Fair point. Well, I am out of ideas, so isn't there anywhere I can stay? And hearing me sigh, let's see, musingly, Kido rests her knife and fork back on the table.
解決させる方法が一つある。
Well, there is one solution. And what is that?
僕の部屋に来ればいい。ルームシェアというやつだ。
Okay, so how about you stay at my place? That is a solution, but you would really allow me to live with you?
そう。
Okay. I would be terribly grateful.
出会ったばかりの相手になぜそこまで親切にするんだろう。
Okay?
不安というか不気味に思うのも当然だ。でも他に頼る当てがない君を心配するのも普通のことだよ。
Is that true?
言ったろ。見て見ぬふりをするのは寝覚めが悪い。
So she's just doing this not to dirty her conscience. Well, it's more like she's being generous and offering Kanato a place to stay. So you don't want to go back. You don't really have good origins, and you don't want people to find out where you came from. So she's helping me for the same reason the girl from yesterday helped me. How curious.
それにまあ条件もある。
Okay, so it comes at a price. So what does he have to do? Yes?
提案したのはあくまでルームシェアだ。
Okay, so room share, roommates. So basically, if you live at my place, you can't just desert me or leave me alone. Oh, so you want me to pay you?
あ、別に法外な値段を取ることはないだろうから、そこは安心したまえ。
And I request a small fee. And what she's offering me is the ability to start my life. And it is a very good offer for me. But I have no reason to believe she's trying to deceive me after all that she's done. So, are you really sure about this?
構わないと言いたいところだけど、
Somewhat.
ルームシェアのためには一つ問題がある。
So what's the problem?
ごめん、先に問題を提示すべきだとは思ったけど、僕にもいろいろあるんだ。
Well, I'm sure everyone has some sort of issues.
ひとまず伊吹くんはこの提案に前向きなんだね。
Well, it would greatly help me, yes?
わかった。なら部屋に向かおうか。
Okay, so let's go then.
詳しい話というか交渉は直接してほしい。
And we can talk more private matters over there. So not at this restaurant where other people like the boss can hear us. And what does she mean by directly? So aren't we in front of each other? Okay, so Kanato doesn't understand the concept of privacy. And then Kito's song guides me through the town. And the flashy billboards in the downtown area are eye-catching, but the back alleys are more interesting than I initially thought. Why? Lots of... Okay, so as several turns, we come across a building. And it gives off quite the mysterious aura. So, in terms of location, it isn't far removed from the downtown area we came from. However, there are no people in the vicinity, which can only mean one thing. Wait, so is this a warehouse? Well, just go inside, and you'll see. So, Kida-san yawns as she opens the door. Alright, come on in. Sure. And I follow after her. Okay, so it does have the structure. So the structures of a warehouse. So you see the open beams with the rivets or bolts, but you also see furniture that resembles a typical living space. So the sofa, the table, and even a kitchen. So stove, refrigerator, and sink. There you go. So there's a table and 2 sofas. And I see a kitchen in the back. There you go. Which means that there must be functioning gas and water running. True. And the steel frame of a building is mostly untouched, but it seems to have been refurbished for residential use. There you go. So I live here. Well, at this point, Tsubasa is tired. Wait, are you okay? You keep yawning. And she's staggering on her feet as well, so I can't hold up anymore. I have to sleep. And it's quite concerning. So, this is my problem. So, I'm tired. Wait, what? And only a little kid would get tired this easily or early. Wait, that's not true. Well, actually, even then, this is a little weird. Wait, are you sure you're okay? And do you have some kind of health condition that you get tired too easily? Well, I'm sorry, so I'm at my limit. And she totters her way to the table and reaches for something sitting on it. And it's a machine that covers the area in the back of her neck and head to exchange data with her brain. In other words, a common BMI setup. But why is she hooking herself up to a BMI now?
作らないと。
To who? Well, too tired to explain. And looks like she no longer has the energy to reply. And things are only getting stranger by the second.
もうダメ。限界。
Okay, so that's it for me. Whoa there. And as soon as she removes the BMI from her neck, she lurches forward limply. And the only thing that stops her from falling on top of the table is her trembling, weak arms. Wait, so should I call an ambulance?
平気。それよりこのメモリ彼女にごめん。僕はもう
Whoa. And not a second later, her head sags down like a rag doll. And without warning, she leans all of her weight upon me. Wait, Kiro-san, so are you okay? And now she's asleep, so she's finally used up her last bit of energy. And despite having lost consciousness, she seems to only be sleeping peacefully. Wait, so what's going on? At the very least, this seems to be a common occurrence for her. So, it's not the first time this happened. Maybe she really does not need an ambulance. So, it's just she's tired. However, wait, so who is she talking about? The her that she's referring to. I scanned the warehouse, but there is no indication that anyone else is here. I have not searched every nook and cranny, sure, but I should not snoop around without permission. That's true. And I guess I'll wait for her to wake up. And I wonder how long Tsubasa will sleep. Whenever that happens. Okay, so a few hours pass and it begins to grow dark out. So I wonder how long he's been waiting. However, Kiro-san has yet to wake up. I turn on the lights, but it does not disturb her sleep in the slightest. So she's not getting up. She's currently sleeping calmly on the sofa. Should I really not do anything? It's worrying that she can't sleep for this long. I stare at her face scrupulously, and her rhythmic breathing changes. Could she tell I am watching, perhaps? She wiggles her body and waves her arms as if trying to brush something off. And her motions make her unwittingly entangle her hair with her fingers. And her thin fingers are entwined with her head, but she does not realize. And as her arm slides down, her whole head of hair slips off. So what's happening? Wait, what? Wait, so it was a wig? Talking about a shocker. And her natural hair is cut much shorter, and still the slight commotion does little to rouse her from her slumber. So it looks like she's still sleeping. Wait, hold on. Wait, so she's the girl that helped me yesterday. So the one who got him sober after drinking that super strong alcoholic beverage. And now I know why she seemed so familiar at first. So she was someone I already knew all along. But why is she pretending to be someone else? And it looks like she's getting up.
なんでソファ
You okay?
ーは
Wait. She reacts with confusion upon opening her eyes.
誰
So, who are you? Wait, what?
なんで私の部屋にどうやって入ったの何が目的
So, how did you get in here? And the wariness in her glare is evident. And she's eyeing me like she's looking at a criminal. So, how did you get in here? How did you sneak in? I don't want anything, but you brought me here.
はあ私が
Me? So Kiro-san told me I could come to this room.
翼さんが
Wait, she did?
なんでこのタイミングで忘れてるわけないでしょうに
Wait, so this person is referring to Kiro-san as a she? And she's acting like they are separate people. She had a friendly aura about her before she went to sleep. And now this person is all gloomy and unwelcoming. However, now she feels like a totally different person. And the way she regards me warily and tries to keep a distance reminds me of a cat that is not used to being around people. And it's almost as if she forgot about everything that transpired before going to sleep. Whoa, wait. So that is not it. So it's not a case of memory loss, but something else entirely. So name? Oh, so my name is Ibuki Kanato. Oh, I never introduced myself to you, did I?
うかつなことを言っちゃったか
Okay, so what did I get myself into? She heaves a sigh of resignation, a bitter scowl on her face. Eventually, however, she responds to me.
私は茨城リノはじめまして
Okay, so this person is Ibaraki Rino. So nice to meet you. So you're not...
お察しの通り私は翼さんじゃない
Okay, so I'm not Tsubasa-san. So the other person, Ibaraki Rino. I sit on the sofa and sound out her name under my breath, and there's no response. I'm the only one sitting here.
とにかくここで待ってて
And after saying that, she went upstairs. I decide to be obedient and stay put. Well, of course, I had no other choice, but I am also curious about her. So after a short while, Rino comes down the stairs, and her image is completely different. So her long hair is now short, shoulder length. And in place of the fluttering skirt from before are shorts. So Rino prefers to be dressed this way. And her slippers have been replaced by a pair of boots. So she's a far cry from the Kino-san from before. Of course, the makeup is a large part of that. Okay, that's better. So you're the same girl? What? Don't you remember? So you helped me when I was drunk the other day. Oh, so you're that person. So let me thank you again for that. So are you okay now? So do you recover? Yes, and my wallet is safe as well. So I did not get robbed or jacked or anything. So I guess the tea helped. So the blonde hair is fake. So this is the real you. Come on, so it's just a wig. So it's pure coincidence. So basically, well, you look like that person who helped get me sober the other day. Yes, so I am Ibuki Kanato. She saved me when I was in a sticky situation. Oh, okay, so I think I understand what she meant now. I might be meant to give this to you. So suddenly the gears in my head turn and I realize who the Kino-san was referring to. So Kino-san was referring to the Rino person that Kanato is currently talking to. So I got a memory from Kido, and I believe it might be for you. And as soon as I hand over the memory, she puts it on the BMI and checks its contents. It does not appear to be a graph, but a memory-based video message. Okay, so this is what I did. And not a long one at that, as she removes the BMI from her neck soon after. Okay, so Rino saw everything that happened. So when Tsubasa went to save Kanato from being robbed, and then faking that the police are nearby. Sorry. So I got you into this as well. For what it's worth, I was not expecting any of this either. So you should save all that for Tsubasa-san. Alright. And what do I have to do in order to speak with her?
今日は無理。
Well, not happening today.
また明日になれば話すこともできるけど。
So, she's sleeping and you'll have to wait tomorrow to talk with her. Wait, so what's wrong?
いや、なんか胃が。
My stomach. Ugh. She looks down at her own stomach, the disgust apparent in her face.
翼さん、何か食べた？甘いものとか。
Yeah, so she had some pancakes and doused them in syrup. So she made it super, super sweet.
やっぱり人の体だからってまたそんな高カロリーなものを。
I can't believe it. So she is adding all this unnecessary calories onto me. So lots of sugar. And her wording strikes me as odd. She said, my body.
食べるのは仕方ないとしても、せめて報告くらいは。
So did she not leave anything about that in her message?
私が起こりそうなことは隠そうとするから、あの人。特に高カロリーな間食とか。
Oh, that's smart. So, I want to eat it. I like sweet stuff, but I can't let Rino know because she'll get mad. So I'll just eat anyways and not tell her. But Rino can feel it in her stomach. It's like, oh, I feel very bloated.
バレバレなのにごまかす犬じゃあるまいし。まったくもう。
But I know that she'll eat sweets anyways, whether she tells me or not.
何？
Nothing. You just sound like good sisters having an argument.
姉妹か。あんまり姉って感じもしないけど。
So I guess you would be the younger one.
何かご不満？
So anything wrong about it? Well, just voicing my thoughts. It's nice that you mentally figured out who's which or who's who.
実際年上だし。
But she is older than me. She states as such without hesitation. I thought it was a simple case of split personality at first, but maybe it's not. And it's not a splinter of the same person's consciousness. They really are two different people in one body. Wait, so don't tell me. Wait, so Ibaraki-san?
何？
So can we talk about the roommate arrangement that Keto proposed? So I'll pay for my share of the monthly rent as well as my own living expenses. So please allow me to stay here.
なんか急に推しが強くなった気がするんだけど。
So you seem desperate. Well, I already thought it over. And I went to many real estate agents, but none of them could do anything for me. So I've already tried.
身分を証明することができないからでしょ。翼さんから聞いた。
Okay, so all of that was in the memory. And even if they were willing to introduce me to a leaser, I doubt it would be very quality property. So they might give me a really cheap place to rent or to lease or to buy with a loan. So I need to spend my money carefully, and I like to avoid staying at hotels for long. So like I said, they can get very expensive if you stay for too long. And thus I come to the conclusion that your offer is the best I will find in my current situation. Well, I guess...
見ず知らずの人と自分の部屋でルームシェアとか普通は絶対言わないだろうし。
I know that you realize you ought to turn away someone as suspicious as me, even if you are not a real estate agent.
胸を張って情けないこと言わないでくれる。
Well, the truth is I have nowhere to go. So, will you please help me? And now he's begging. So she groans pensively. I understand her apprehension very well. I'm asking her to live with a total stranger. And I should dismiss the idea and excuse myself, well, to be honest. However, I now have a reason I want to stay here. I know what keto means, and negotiations are my thing. I have enough experience with that through my time at company Ibuki. And it's a skill I've honed well at this point. So it's okay if you rather not. Well, I'll search elsewhere. So if you say no, then I'll just go somewhere else. And plus, it's night, but I can still search. And he's putting Rino in a very difficult situation. Well, I'll be fine. So the air is so cold out there that I can see my breath, but I'll manage. Well, that's not giving any assurances. Just be quiet. And it might even rain tonight, but I'll be able to find something before then, surely. Well, just shut up, okay? And he keeps talking about his plan, so the next person who comes and talks to me might end up swindling me out of all my money, but that's just how the world is. Okay, so I told you be quiet. Okay, so what do you want? I'm just negotiating. But I'm sure bringing all that unnecessary conversation up isn't helping.
それは脅迫でしょうが。しかも一番腹が立つのはそれが脅迫として成り立ってしまう自分に対して。
And it feels like you are coercing me to accept this.
見捨てて追い出したいのにできない自分に腹が立つ。
Well, I'm aware that I am not playing fair. So, I am kind of sneaking in on your privacy. And I truly apologize for that. But I do know that I'm not just doing this for fun. So, I really do need a place to stay.
切羽詰まってるのはわかるけど、やっていいことと悪いことがあるっていうか。
I'm sorry.
そこで素直に謝られると、なんかもう、本当にもう。
So basically, Kanato just pushed Rino into a corner. It's like, please, 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 just accept me. I have nowhere else to go. I'm going to enter the world of horribles if you tell me to leave. And pretty much, she's forced to say yes. And after groaning for a while, she sighs and droops her shoulders. But soon after, she raises her head again, only to snarl at me, her lips twisted into a pointed frown.
家賃、水道、光熱費は折半。伊吹くんは1階で寝る。私の部屋には入らない。絶対に。
Fine, so I'll accept your proposal. So you pay half the utilities and you can't enter the second floor.
変な気を起こしたらすぐに警察を呼ぶ。
And any mistake, I'm gonna call the police on you.
その他はその都度話し合うけど、基本私に合わせてもらう。
Okay. So does that mean yes?
何？文句ある？
Well, I've already given you my proposal, so I've already been too generous with you. Well, not at all. So does this mean you'll allow me to live with you?
ついさっき人のことを脅したのは誰よ？
So it's like, well, obviously, so if I make all these conditions, then it's a yes. I know, well, I apologize for that.
まあ、行くあてがなくて困るっていうのは正直私も経験したことあるし。
Well, I understand. So you have nowhere to go, and
誰かの助けが必要な時ってのは絶対にあると思うから、しょうがなくだから。
I know, and I thank you greatly for your kindness.
改めて言うけど、取り決めた約束事は絶対に破らないこと。
So I'll accept, but I'm very firm on my conditions. So you pay half the rent and utilities, and you cannot enter the second floor where I sleep. I will.
あともう一つ。
And one more thing.
私の体質のことは他の人には言わないことも条件に追加で。
So don't tell anyone about my condition. So the fact that Tsubasa-san also lives in with me. So Kira-san obviously goes out during the day. And she knows that girl named Nika. So she can't mean hiding Kira-san's existence. So you mean the fact that you two are sharing one body? And that's probably the reason they are living in a warehouse in a desolate area of the city, so that no one finds out. And if they had neighbors, they would get suspicious in due time. Well, I don't even know anyone to tell at the moment.
そりゃそうか。行くあてもないくらいだし。
Okay, I'll honor our agreement, and I promise not to mention any of this to other people.
それで、そっちは？
Okay? Me?
何か言っておきたいこととか。
So anything that you want me to know about you? Well, I'm not in a position to set conditions, though if there's one thing I could say... Okay, so I look forward to living together. Hopefully we get along. Okay. And she heaves another sigh. So, I understand, so stop making all these pleas, stop begging. So, I already gave you my permission, approval. And though somewhat peevishly, she says,
よろしく。
Okay, me too, yes. And finally, Ibuki Kanato's life has begun to change. So, at least, I found a place to stay.
PARQUET.
Okay, so we're now in the next chapter. So let's see how it goes from here. So I wake up to a unfamiliar scenery. So the ceiling is high and the room is spacious. And a renovated warehouse, hardly what one would consider normal. but I'm freezing. So in this open space, I'm sure the walls are thin, so no insulation, and there's no HVAC to, and plus no ceiling fan. And even with internal heating, warming up this huge space is not easy. Okay, so there is a heater. But I have no complaints, so at least there is roof on top of where I live. And there is little noise despite the proximity to the downtown area, so I was able to sleep soundly. But I think I'll need to buy a new sleeping bag. So I need something that's more cozy to help me. So I got one yesterday in a hurry, but it does not keep me warm at all, and maybe buying cheap things is more expensive in the long run. Well, that's very true. So you buy cheap things and they don't last, or they have problems because they're cheaply made. So if you spend a little more, you might get something that's even better and that it'll last longer. So in the long run, maybe the more expensive item is a better buy. So I zip my sleeping bag back down and look up. Okay, so he puts away his sleeping bag. So at the end of the staircase is Ibaraki's room, and I'm told to never enter there. And she does not appear to be awake yet. So maybe I should report back. And Miyoshi-san might be worried about me. So at this point, it kind of feels like Manaka Miyoshi is the main character's mother. So she was the first person to be really kind and gentle to Kanato, and was kind of taking care of him under an assignment from the was director. Okay, so I take out my smartphone and open the chat screen for the only registered contact on it. And I type out and send a message to the blank screen. Okay, so I would like to report. So let me know when you can talk. So call me. And surprisingly, her response is immediate. So I'm open. And after seeing her reply, I press the call button. Okay, so I'll call now. So how is it? Anything wrong? No, I just wanted to update you on my progress. And I will send you the address of the place I'm living in just in case something happens in the future. So, in case of an emergency. Ooh, so you found a place. I know, but it is really that surprising? Yes. Okay, so Monica does know about the problem. So no ID and no guarantor and no place of residence, no birth certificate. Wait, so you knew I would not be able to rent anything? So I've been through the same experience as you. So I live by myself and I know all the things that they ask for. But then why did you not give me any advice before I left? So you wanted to see this for yourself, so I went silent on that. Well, that I did. I was naive to assume that it would be so easy. Well, partially. So a generous person let me live with them. And I gave her a quick rundown of yesterday's occurrences. About my unpleasant night at the Capsule Hotel, and how I was saved the following day, and how the woman offered to share her home with me out of concern that something might happen to me if I was left on the streets. However, I omit any information about the Ibaraki's condition as per our agreement. So, okay, so someone let me a place like her home for me to stay in. So the outside world is more exciting than I even imagined. So you changed a lot in just 2 days. Oh, just one thing. So it was too strong and I could not take it. So the alcohol drink. So the strong max beverage. Wait, you drank one? I did. You better believe I did. And I became sick immediately afterwards. So that's not a drink for beginners. So you have to be able to handle alcohol very well before you try the much stronger Strong Max drink. And Monica is an experienced drinker, so. And that's why. Oh, so that's not why I'm bringing it up. You should stop drinking those every day. So they'll ruin your body health in the long run. But it's good once in a while, so it calms your mind down and such. And plus, I've drunk a lot of alcoholic beverages in the past, so I know how to handle that. And the experience is still good with that. Okay, so when most people call that happiness, well, I don't think so. Well, I'm sure that's the case for Monica and the other co-workers. There you go. Wait, you used the word euphoria. That word is often used to describe the side effects of drugs. Well, I feel good from all that, so. Well, at least stop drinking them every day. So the damage will pile up, and you may regret it when it passes the bill later on. I suppose. And I can't almost imagine the look of disbelief on her face. So I went too fast. Let's see what Monica said previously. Okay. Well, I just thought I would warn you since you said you drink them every day. Okay, so I'll try to be careful in the future. And that does not sound very convincing. Well, I'm used to it, so it'll take some time for me to get out of my addiction. But I'll keep your words in mind. Alright. There's something I would like to ask of you. So what is it? I want you to investigate the research that produced me. So the researchers involved, research facilities used, and I want to know what technology was used. I want to know if there are any others like me out there. I want to see what you can find. So I was just a secretary, or I'm a secretary. I know, I'm not asking you to do anything illegal, so just to the best of your ability. And just dig up whatever you can, so could you do that for me? And the thought abruptly come to me after I met Kido-san. So are there people old other than me that were born from experimentation? I want to know more. Okay. Thanks. Of course. Okay. So, thank you. I know, that's fine. Just do whatever you can. Okay, so see you later. So after the call ends, I reflect my conversation with her. Oh. So we're looking at it from Manaka's side. And when he woke up, he didn't seem to have an interest in anything. So he must be learning. Okay, so I'll lay off on that drinking. So once the call ends, I hear noise coming from the room on the second floor. So looks like Tsubasa Kido might be waking up and will come down shortly. So I'm going to leave that to next episode. I did stretch this a little bit because I wanted the entire conversation with the so-called mother, Manaka, in this episode. So Kanato progressed tremendously to the amazement of Manaka. So being able to find a place to stay. And I've been feeling that Manaka predicted that Kanato will have troubles because of no ID, no guarantor, no birth certificate, and such. And she kept it secret so that Kanato can learn about the good and the bad of the world himself. So that was his request in the beginning. But anyways, we'll see how life is like living with someone who has two people in one body. So during the day, it's Tsubasa Kido, and at night, it's Rino Ibaraki. And with that in mind, I'll see you later.